That's right, people, it's back. RWBY, man, let's go. Now, I know many of you are probably going to be shocked with what I'm about to say, but I don't always look like this, man. I don't always look like this. But when I don't look like this, I look like this. What up, people? Check out my mixtape. Yeah, moving on, man. Man, forget you. You can't stop my individuality. So yeah, this first episode of RWBY Volume 3 can basically be summed up into 3 parts. RWBY visiting her mom's grave, then Team RWBY at the tournament, their battle, and Team RWBY at the fairgrounds. Now, the first part of the episode was when RWBY was visiting her mom's grave. Now, this scene gave off a very grim and melancholy vibe, and I'm not sure if this kind of vibe's gonna like continue on for the rest of this volume, but that's what it kind of seemed like to me. And at the end of that scene, when we see the crows flying in the distance, for me personally, I think that was an homage that Rooster Teeth made to Monty Oom's passing, the creator of RWBY. Because whenever we saw the crows in the past in RWBY episodes, the crows were always surrounding Monty Oom's name. So yeah, I associate those crows with Monty Oom, so that's why. So yeah, the second part of the episode is Team RWBY's battle at the tournament, and I have to say the freaking fighting was pretty freaking awesome. The CGI was good. The music in the background was great. As usual, that RWBY has some top-notch freaking music. Man, and you gotta love how Blake was the only one to actually beat her opponent on the one-on-one match. Freaking Reese, the hoverboard chick. And it was very fitting having a hoverboard chick in this episode because we just had the Back to the Future October 21st day a few days ago. So I thought that was really cool. Also, I really like how they're implementing more applications for the use of dust in battle, because they have Weiss use a whirlwind and then manifest a giant hand to subdue the 2 fighters. So I thought that was really cool. Weiss is definitely basically what you could call the witch of the group. And Yang during her fight was actually struggling a fair amount versus this Kung Fu chick, because it's to be expected this Kung Fu chick was most likely the freaking leader of the group. And this Kung Fu chick, you know, she was actually holding her own against Yang in a hand-to-hand combat, which was pretty crazy because we already know Yang's the best hand-to-hand combat fighter in the group. But Blake, I still say Blake has the more experience out of everyone in the group. And it just proves it even more because Blake was actually the one who actually managed to beat her opponent solo. But man, I love that freaking super crazy awesome action sequence that they did the freaking maneuver to finish off the 3 fighters. But yeah, I find it pretty crazy when they pull off all these crazy combos like at the end to freaking finish off the 3 fighters. They didn't even like really communicate with each other. They just said each other's name and like, alright, do this. Do this. They don't give any explicit details of what the heck they're supposed to do. They're pulling some like Batman and Robin stuff where they're like communicating without actually having to communicate. They just know what to do. And then this also happened when they're fighting the Crow back in Volume 1. So yeah, and people still give a lot of shit for that because they weren't even a group yet, but they somehow knew what the heck they're all supposed to do. So yeah, I still find that pretty funny. But now that because they've been a team for a while, we can assume that they all came up with all these freaking different crazy kinds of combinations together. Now, the third part of this episode is at the fairgrounds, where we find out that Emerald has gotten to know Team RWBY pretty freaking well. So yeah, this leads me to believe that Volume 3 is now taking place a month or 2 after Volume 2, because Emerald seemed to have built some trust from Team RWBY. But yeah, we also see that tensions are rising between Weiss and her family, because when we see Weiss ignore the phone call from her dad, and then we also see Weiss's credit card gets declined. So yeah, at this point, Weiss's family is basically just like, you're on your own until you answer the dang phone. And this scene, we also get to hear Ren's new voice actor, which is actually Monty Oom's brother, Neethum. And I have to say, he's actually pretty good, but it's still gonna take me a while to get used to his voice because I'm too used to hearing Monty Oom's voice in Ren. So yeah, he's actually pretty decent. What's interesting to me about the scene too is also we get to find out from Nora when she goes on her freaking emo rant, is that we find out that Nora and Ren don't have any family left. What the heck's going on about that? Like, are we gonna get backstory later? Like, to find out how they were orphaned? So yeah, I'm pretty sure we gotta get one later on. But yeah, this episode left off on a pretty big freaking cliffhanger with Team Juniper's battle about to commence, and then it just like cuts the episode right there. And I was also pissed because John and Pierre, they're like 2 of my favorite characters, man. They're 2 of my favorite characters. But yeah, I actually have a few things to speculate about the new freaking volume, what the heck the stuff's gonna happen. And I think tensions are gonna be super high between the RWBY freaking team, because watch, RWBY and Yang, they're like, tensions are gonna rise to the roof between them, because Yang knows that RWBY's mom is still alive and RWBY doesn't right now, but we know how this works. RWBY's gonna find out, and RWBY's probably gonna be really mad with Yang, and then it's gonna mess up the dynamics of the team. And in the opening, we see Weiss's mom or sister, probably sister, Winter, and Crow. And then we know they don't get along, so this might also mess up the stuff between RWBY, Yang, and Weiss. So yeah, another reason why tensions might be high this volume for everybody. And then also Blake. Blake's gonna have a lot of internal conflict with herself, because Adam's gonna show up out of nowhere, and he's probably gonna try to like persuade her to come join them again. And then this is probably gonna cause even more problems between her and the team, because in this episode we actually saw that Blake was acting very carefree and she was actually being very cheerful this episode, and that's pretty unusual for Blake. So Blake might actually go back to her old ways and, you know, try to seclude herself and get people away from her, just, you know, shrug people off. And yeah, she might try to go back to being alone like that. So yeah, that's what I think is now going to be going down in the future of Volume 3. That's most likely what's going to be going down. You know, tensions are going to be rising between the freaking team. Yeah, and stuff is probably going to go down with Team JNPR too, because, you know, in the opening scene, it shows all of them in a circle, and then they all start breaking apart towards the end. This has been the TheMildOtaku. This has been my RWBY Volume 3 Episode 1 review. I don't know if I'm going to do this weekly. Maybe if I see another really interesting episode and then I just want to do it. So yeah, comment down below what you guys thought of the episode, what you guys wanted to happen in the episode, what you guys think's going to happen later in Volume 3. You know, any crazy predictions and stuff. And yeah, rate the video. Subscribe if you guys are new to this channel. I really appreciate it. So yeah, this has been the TheMildOtaku. Catch you guys later and stay gold.